Let's
do it. We're here. We're ready. Blame's Pizza. If you guys don't know why we call it Blames or Blazems, all the versions of that we do is because of LeBron. LeBron owns Blaze Pizza. Some people don't know, okay? Some people walk right past him when he's trying to introduce himself. You don't know it's LeBron James? You don't know it's LeBron James? First of all, your radar has to be going off where this giant man is around. You're like, oh, he must be an athlete, likely a basketball player. Then second course of detective work should be, what basketball players do I know? Do I know the most famous basketball player in the entire world? LeBron James? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably should recognize him.
You would think. You would think. He's been playing for 22 years. If you've ever just passed by during the playoffs, TNT happens to be on, you've probably seen him.
You would think. Okay. Blame's Pizza. Everyone, you get 10 slices, and you have to pass along the blame of who deserves the credit for the failure of the season. We're going to start with the Los Angeles Lakers, who failed to reach the second round after expectations of championships started to get floated around out there, including by me. I'm not going to shy away from it.
Yep.
Including by me. I was like, oh.
Both of us.
It's very even in the West. And I think you kind of see it. A lot of teams had 49 wins. And they ended up all duking it out. Really good series in the West, except really for two. One, the OKC Thunder, who destroyed the Grizzlies, who showed that they're a class above, or the Grizzlies are a class below, or maybe both. But the Lakers, who got trounced in the fourth quarters to Ant-Man. We're living in his dream right now. To the Ant-Man. Joe, please. We have the suspects. We got Rob Pelinka. We got JJ Redick, the head coach. We got Jeannie Buss, the owner. We got LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, Bronny, and of course the others. Joe, who do you assign the Blame's Pizza that deserves credit for this failure of a season?
All right, Cliff. Shall we see what they did? We'll briefly go over the numbers. LeBron, 24, 8, 8, 1, 51, 38 splits.
On the season, yeah.
It's fine. You know, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Luka, 28, 8, 8, 2, 44, 38 on the season.
Great.
Austin, 25, 6, 1, 46, 38. I mean, you would think 3 20-point scorers coming into this series.
You would think.
You would think, right? That's what we thought. We thought, what are they going to do? You're going to get switches. Rudy's going to be in trouble. Cliff, what did this whole series come down to?
Crunch time execution.
Crunch time execution. That's what this whole series essentially came down to. So with that in mind, okay, I'm only blaming 4 people.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, Austin Reaves, okay? But only one slice, Cliff. 10% for Austin Reaves.
I'm surprised.
Look, as much as I really didn't like Austin Reaves in this series, he was
horrendous.
He was terrible.
Series.
He was terrible. And I don't care about the numbers, okay? Watching the games, did not take advantage of mismatches, really did not take advantage of open shots. I mean, wide open. How many wide open jumpers, Cliff? Wide open threes did he get? All the threes that Rui was knocking down. I mean, Rui Hachimura deserves no slices, and he deserves the positive. He deserves the Blazem Pizza, all right?
Yeah.
Rui was the only guy in this whole series for the Lakers that played above expectations defensively, offensively. Yes, he had little mistakes here and there, but for what was expected of him, I mean, he well exceeded what was expected of him. He was keeping them in it in Game 5. He was putting it right there on the silver platter for the stars to come in at the end and take over the game, but they didn't do it. Austin's a third star, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not the main guy. He's not even the second guy. So how can I give Austin a ton of blame? He did underperform. You know, again, he missed those open shots. He was a cone on ice on defense. Like, he was so bad. His closeouts were so bad. And he had terrible fouls, untimely fouls, giving up the and ones at the end of the game multiple times. So while I blame him.
And the turnovers.
The turnovers,
behind the back dribbles. And then you put Jaden McDaniels on that. Oh, my God. He's going to eat him alive.
Yes, and he did. And so, look, but I'm only giving him one slice because all the people I'm going to talk about deserve more blame. Okay, ahead of him.
It's going. Okay.
Yeah. We're
rising.
We're
rising
ascending order. All right. Culprit number 2. Some people might be surprised by this, but it's LeBron.
Wow.
Only a slice and a half, 15%.
Wow,
Look,
that's never happened before.
I've never given LeBron so little blame. Okay, and anyone who doesn't know us and is gonna accuse me of being some kind of LeBron lover, I'm not a LeBron lover. I'm a LeBron hater. Right, certified. However, in this series, I don't know how you can really blame LeBron too much.
LeBlame.
LeBlame. That was Freudian. I don't know how you can blame LeBron too much. You can't. All right. Look. He's old. Like, he's an old guy.
Right.
He only has so much energy. All right. I don't like the old stuff when you're talking about the GOAT debate. Like, oh, he's so old and he's still. I don't like that. But in this case, you got to give him some. You got to cut him some slack. Point number 1, he's old. Point number 2, he's not the best player on the team anymore. Right? Like, when it was him and AD, I understand you got to take the bulk of the blame because you're the better guy. You got a guy who's better than you. You shouldn't have to carry the load if you're the second guy. And LeBron not only is objectively the second best player on the team, but he was deferring. Like, we were giving LeBron credit for letting Luka take over, letting Luka have better stats, more shot attempts, more usage during the season. LeBron was shooting more catch and shoot threes, and he was actually making some of them. LeBron actually shot some corner threes, something we rarely saw LeBron do in any of his past seasons. He was doing it because he was deferring to Luka. I don't know how you can give him that much blame. I give him some blame, obviously. He had some terrible turnovers. He had a terrible turnover in Game 3. He had a terrible turnover in Game 4. Like, those were really bad. But that's a play here and there. Everybody has kind of play mistake. I'm not excusing it, so he gets some blame, but it's only 1.5 slices. All right.
Okay.
Culprit number 3, Luka.
Oh, here we go.
25%. All right, 2.5 slices.
Oh.
Look, and again, Luka's numbers in the playoffs.
He's hungry.
He averaged 37 and 6. On 45% shooting, 45-35 splits. That's good. However, okay, in crunch time, he was terrible. All right, notably, right, Game 4, no points. Like, didn't do anything in crunch time. He and LeBron both, but he has to get more of the blame because he's the main guy. Yeah, you can't fall down. You got to be stronger with the ball. Like, how many times have we said, like, stop foul hunting? You know, people are talking about SGA, free throw merchant. You know what I like about SGA, though? He doesn't fall down on those plays. Right? Well, sometimes he does. But a lot of times, okay, he's getting into the lane. Like, Luka, if Luka doesn't get the foul call, it's a turnover and 2 points the other way. Like, that happens so many times. Or it's a terrible shot off the backboard. It's going the other way. It's going to be 2 or 3 points. And, Cliff, not just that. Luka was missing layups in transition. Was it Game 4 or 5? Game 5. It was like a 3-point game, and he missed that up and under. He was right there. It was such a terrible play, and it went from we should have been down 1 to down 5 because it went the other way. Like, these momentum shifting plays. Luka had so many. And then he got one-on-one on Rudy Gobert. Rudy blocked him. Rudy stole the ball from him on a step-back 3. I mean, when have we ever seen that happen?
And Naz Reid, too.
Naz Reid, too. Yeah, end of game 4, he gets the switch on Nas Reed, doesn't even attempt a shot, passes it to LeBron so he has to take a 30-footer. Look, I mean, so many plays. Those are the superstar plays. That's when you got to step up. We just praised Buddy Hield. Did you see what Steph did in the fourth quarter against Houston? Holy crap. Every single shot he took was like difficulty max shot. What the heck?
Kobe.
The threes, crossover, step back threes, double teamed, triple teamed, getting in the lane. I think he traveled, but that layup was sick. I think he traveled. It's 3 steps, yeah. But still, all right. I mean, he was making the most of it, and when they needed him, he was like, you know what? I was playing bad, right, in the first half. Second half, I'm gonna step up. Fourth quarter, I'm just gonna shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did that. He was like, you know what? If I who cares? You know, good defenders on me. Who cares? I'm going to take it. Dylan Brooks is on me. Tari Eason's on me.
Exactly what you said last week about what Luka should do.
That's what he should have done, but he didn't do it. And that's why he gets 2.5 slices. But Cliff.
Wait.
There's
so let me go. Okay. So I match you with Austin at 1.
Okay.
My God, those behind the back.
I thought you'd be higher on Austin, actually.
Behind the back dribbles, kill me. Just kill me. Like, what are we doing here, dude? What are we doing here? Why are you falling down so much? Why are you falling down so much, man? And then it came out like he had like a big toe injury.
Right.
Okay, sure. Right, fine. Absolve you of a little, right? But this was like the first playoffs that actually mattered, where we were up. We were the main top seed.
Yep. Favored. We were favored. Home court.
We were favored. I give LeBron 1 slice.
Oh, okay.
1 slice.
You're less than me.
I'm less than you. Guys, we all say the same things, right? Like, to me, the problem always with LeBron was he spirit bombed. If you guys don't know what spirit bombing is, in Dragon Ball Z, you absorb the strength of other players instead of having them fight next to you. Because it's greater than for me to have your power in an energy orb and me throw it than it is for you to fight and double team this guy, triple team, quadruple team.
And by the way, if you're wondering what that power is space and usage. That's what the power is. Let me dribble the ball and get out of my way. Just create space, sit in the corner.
You stand in the corner while I do everything else.
Yep.
He hasn't really done that. He's been the guy that catches the ball and shoots it and makes decisions after the play. I'm shocked.
He's been the guy in the corner, Cliff. He's the guy in the corner.
I have never seen him so much in the corner in my entire life. I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Yep.
But the only reason I give him blame is because I know he's genjutsuing me, okay? I know that the law of LeBron is still there. The law of LeBron is still a force that is being felt. This is why I feel like Luka is passing it to him in the fourth quarter when he has Nas Reed on him. Like, the law of LeBron is like propelling him to do it. It's like a magnet. It's like, I can't help myself. This guy is a 4-time NBA champ. Maybe the GOAT in history. I mean, I should give it to him, right? I should.
I see. So basically, you're just biting your finger.
Yeah. Yes.
Just in case.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. That's my 1 slice, just in case. I give 2 slices to Luka Doncic. Because of, look, if you're the greatest, if you're him, you got to overcome all the things that I just said. All of that. Go after it. You be the guy, right? To me, I'm like, I always look at the tea leaves and stuff. I'm like, dude, this guy just a brokenhearted man, right? Like, try to work really hard to get back in shape, to get back at his ex. He played that game, and then I wasn't fulfilled. I'm still sad. It's like, and then he comes into the series against the hungry Ant-Man. He gets roasted. It's just not my favorite. Not my favorite. But now let's go to your final stage.
So my final guy, who gets all the rest of the blame, okay?
Half
JJ Redick. Half the pizza JJ Redick. Coach JJ Redick, 50% of the pizza. Okay. Now, the reason that we say that clutch time execution was supposed to be what this series was about, and really what it actually turned out being about, we knew that coming into the series. During the year, the Lakers were, since the Luka trade, were 11-7 in clutch games and 23-16 on the season. Meanwhile, the T-Wolves were 7-10 over the Luka trade span and 20-26 on the season and a minus 1.6 in clutch time.
Yeah.
That was one of the main knocks on the T-Wolves this season. That Julius Randle was doing weird stuff in the clutch. Yes. That they didn't have clutch time shooting. Anthony Edwards was great. He was always good in the clutch the whole year, but they were losing a lot of the games because other guys couldn't make shots and Julius was doing weird things and you couldn't have Rudy on the court. This was something that we always knew about the T-Wolves. So the Lakers were good. The T-Wolves were bad coming into the series. And you're thinking, all right, the Lakers have home court. The Lakers have 3 20-point scores. And the Lakers have great clutch players. Austin had been great in the clutch. Guys. LeBron had been great in the clutch this season. And he's been great in the clutch in recent seasons. And Luka has been amazing in the clutch. And Luka owns the T-Wolves.
Yep.
Last year in the playoffs, Luka cooked Rudy Gobert every chance he got.
Mm-hmm.
He was licking his chops every time he got the switch on Rudy, and he hit he had that classic step back 3 on Rudy,
of course,
last year in the playoffs, right? And so we were just thinking, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And yet, the Lakers, terrible in the clutch. In the playoffs, 3 games with clutch time in the series. That's the game within 5 points in the last 5 minutes. 14 total clutch minutes. Lakers shot 31.3% from the field and were a minus 20 for the series. In games 2 through 5 were decided by a total of 13 points. Meanwhile, Minnesota shot 61.1% from the field, 62.5% from 3. That was the series right there. JJ couldn't generate any easy buckets for his stars. Never put Luka or LeBron on the block. Didn't play Jackson Hayes. They just got destroyed. Every game really was about crunch time execution. And so who deserves the blame for that? I mean, yes, the stars deserve some blame. But man, JJ just had no plan. He just had no counters this whole series. I hated what he said after game 1, Cliff, and I told you this at the time.
I'm not sure physically we were ready, if that makes sense. And really, when they started playing with a lot of thrust and physicality, like we just didn't respond immediately to that. And then that stretch from the start of the second through 4 or 5 minutes to go in the third, we lost that stretch by 34. So
he blamed the players. He said, we didn't come with the right energy, the right intensity. Contrastingly, what I saw after game 6, Cliff, for the Warriors series, the Warriors-Houston series, Steve Kerr took the blame after game 6. He said, we didn't come with the right intensity tonight. He took the blame. He said it was his fault. Draymond also took blame. He said it was his fault. Lakers don't have that culture. JJ's like blaming other people. He's blaming the players. JJ defends his terrible decision in game 4 to play, or was it game 4, game 3, game 4, where he played them the whole second half? Oh, it was game 4.
Sticking with the 5 you stuck with in the fourth quarter the other day. And is there an assistant or someone maybe that you'll lean on tonight, maybe to try to get some other guys involved if that opportunity presents itself?
Are you saying that because I'm inexperienced and that was an inexperienced decision that I made? Do you think I don't talk to my assistants about substitutions every single timeout?
No, I just think there's a lot of coaches lean on their assistants in those situations.
As do I, every single time. That's a weird assumption.
And it's just like, what are you doing, dude? These are just rookie, terrible mistakes. At that point, you got to say something. You got to say, we're going to make a change because I screwed up. I didn't come with the right game plan. We're going back to the drawing board. We're going to fix things. We're going to have plays that make sense. I blame LeBron for that terrible pass, that got picked off in game 4. Also, terrible play. It's an ATO.
Terrible play. There was no space. There's no space.
There was
to
no
pass.
space.
It was
There was
hard
no
to blame
space.
LeBron for that. He's threading the needle, and after a timeout situation, you got to thread the needle.
Like, what's going on? How was that the play? How did you not run more high pick and roll, Luka and LeBron?
What does the threat of Steph Curry in a high pick and roll, Damian Lillard in a high pick and roll, Trae Young in a high pick and roll, Luka in a high pick and roll, what does that do? How does that bend the defense? How does that cause the overreaction?
2 on the ball.
They did it some in game 5, but I'm like, why are you doing it so late? Like, why are you doing it now? You should have been doing this the whole series, right? LeBron gets the ball, he dribbles into the middle of the zone, and then they got to decide what to do, right? And then Rui's wide open in the dunker spot. They did, like, I never saw that play until game 5.
Yep. Which they were doing during the season.
It's mind-boggling. And then, of course, Cliff, the classic Doc Rivers, Coach Bud. Hey, we're just going to leave Jaden McDaniels wide open in the corner. He can't beat us. Let's give away 2 games because we're just going to let him have wide open threes in the corner. Corner 3, easiest 3 in basketball. I mean, gosh. Come on, JJ. For a basketball historian, like, these are just such rookie mistakes.
Not only that, remember when he was going off on Doc Rivers for not taking accountability?
We've been 7 minutes since we showed that audio. Nobody's going to react to Doc's audio?
Do you want me to get it repeated for you?
We don't have to repeat it. We don't have to repeat it.
I can repeat
I've
it.
seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus.
It's everybody else's fault but his. Yet here we are, how the turntables have turned.
Missed shots at the rim, missed a bunch of threes, shot 12 for 52 for the series in the fourth quarter from 3. On top of that, you lose 2 games in Minnesota, minus 12 in scoring opportunities, minus 13, and then you lose by 20 tonight. Just too many turnovers, too many offensive rebounds, and I think given the struggles scoring the ball, particularly early in the series, there's a trade-off. There's always a trade-off. You could say, play a center. We couldn't score, so.
How the turntables.
Yep.
Yep.
And here we are. And he hasn't taken accountability. And at first, his shtick of being this stern, no-jokey, sarcastic guy was charming. But now it's very off-putting.
Yep.
It's very off-putting because it doesn't feel authentic. And it lacks accountability.
Let me tell you something, Cliff. If you're going to be Mark Zuckerberg, you better invent Facebook. All right? Like, if you've seen The Social Network, if you're going to be that guy, like, you better become that guy. Because if you don't, then you're just a jerk. Right?
Then you're just Winklevi.
You're just the Winklevosses.
You're just the Winklevoss twins.
You're just the Winklevoss twins, all right? Because, like, yeah, it's kind of like, that's exactly what you're saying, right? Like, you better succeed. If you're going to bet it all on yourself, if you're going to say, I'm boy genius and I don't need anyone and I'm smarter than everyone in the room and I will take zero accountability, you better win a championship when everybody's saying that you're at least going to go to the Western Conference Finals. But here's what you better not do. You better not lose in the first round of the playoffs with home court advantage, with a top 3 player in the league, with one of the GOAT candidates on your team, and a legit third guy in the first round in 5 games.
Austin Reaves was the person that when he was on his podcast say, like, I would utilize him so well. He would basically talked about how, dude, like, they're misusing him. He's awesome. And I'm going to turn him into something awesome. Basically, like, even during his initial press conferences. which he did during the regular season.
Also, why not play Dalton Connect? Like, seriously, you're gonna play freaking Maxi Kleber? You're gonna play? This guy hasn't played basketball for months. He's coming off a serious injury. You're gonna suddenly give him minutes. You're not playing Jackson Hayes. You play him over Jackson Hayes, and he plays like, I don't blame Maxi at all. This guy hasn't played. You're supposed to throw him into playoff level basketball, and you don't play Dalton Connect, who's your best catch and shoot 3-point shooter. Like, he would have created space. He would have made this is not speculation, okay? He would have made those open threes that Austin missed. Okay? He was doing that all season. All right? Like, JJ destroyed him. Like, JJ destroyed him, literally. He came back after the trade, after the failed trade, right, with Mark Williams, and JJ was like just punishing him because he was a little bit sad that he got traded. I'm like, dude, the kid's a rookie. He was tearing it up for you before, and now you're gonna destroy your own asset, Pelican style. You're gonna be like, hey, yeah, we hate our good players, our good young players. Yeah, Brandon Ingram sucks. Who wants him? Like, you're gonna do that, destroying his actual value on your team, destroying his trade value, destroying his future. Like, why would you do that? That makes no sense. And people are all saying like, oh yeah, he's a cone on defense. He's not gonna be able to guard anybody. It was our offense, man. Like, yes, our defense was bad also, but I blame scheme more than effort. Because I think they were trying on defense. Yeah. Luka was giving up sometimes. I do kind of like blame him a little bit for that. But Austin was trying. LeBron was definitely trying. He's actually playing good defense. Rui was trying.
They were implementing the game plan. So this is what we talked about, right? You asked me who was the best coach of the series and who was the worst coach of the first round.
Playoffs.
I said the best coach of the first round was Chris Finch.
Yep.
Who was making adjustments, who was making it work, taking advantage of everything that JJ was giving him. The game plan, JJ Redick let the game plan known. It leaked to the media. They were using Bronny James as an ant, like whatever, right? Like stand-in.
Yeah.
He's playing like
Surrogate,
ant,
yeah.
and they were doing the double team strategy on him. It leaked, and then Chris Finch dominated that. Easy pass, one swing. It was like 2 passes, and they would have wide open 3 every time. 4th pass was a dunk.
Yep.
JJ Redick never changed the strategy. Not 5 games. He did the exact same thing every time. It was easy to read.
But it was like he didn't make any defensive adjustments. He didn't make any offensive adjustments. I don't understand. Like, what? Like, there was no plan. It just was terrible.
It's very Coach Bud-like. It's very Coach Bud-like.
Yes.
Which is like, here is the main plan.
Coach Bud, Doc Rivers. It was so like the bad coaches. It was so like, you know what makes Spo amazing, Cliff? Do you know what makes Spo amazing? Adjustments. Yeah. This guy is a film guy. So he goes back, looks at the film and says, you know what? They always overplay Duncan Robinson. So Duncan, why don't you just go back door? Bam will give you this pass and you'll get a layup. How many times has that play worked? I've seen that play work so many times because he exploits the expectation. Okay, this is what they think we're going to do, so we're going to exploit it. They think Duncan doesn't shoot layups. We're going to have him go backdoor, get some layups. And when you just get that like 2 times in a game, what happens? Defense shifts because you're like, oh, shoot, we gave up 2 layups to Duncan Robinson. We can't do that anymore. And so next, dribble handoff, they sag back a little bit, and then Duncan's open for 3, right? And then they're like, oh, shoot, we messed up. And then this time the screener messes up, and or the guy coming like trying to get over the screen messes up, and then they both mess up, and then you pass it to Bam, and then Bam's open for a dunk, right? Like, those are the little adjustments that they need to make. I just saw 0 adjustments. Did you see any adjustments I didn't see any adjustments.
When you head to a kitchen, when you see a great chef is when they have hundreds of spoons in the sink. And the reason they have hundreds of spoons in the sink is because they taste and they adjust. They taste, this needs salt, this needs acid, this needs sugar, this needs something, right? For the dish to succeed, they're constantly tasting. That's a chef. For someone that just takes a standard recipe, does it, customer complains about it, like that's the recipe. That's a cook. That's not a chef, you know? And so I think that's what we have here. JJ Redick, who we thought was a chef based on his content on his podcast and his commentary, but we're realizing very quickly he is a cook, not a chef.
Yep.
Spo is a
and what
chef.
do cooks, and what do cooks do, Cliff? Cooks blame the recipe that they came up with. They blame the ingredients.
Blame the ingredients.
Yep. Blame the weather. Blame the water. Blame the utensils.
It's New York water. We can't get pizza as good as here. That's New York water. New York bagels.
Exactly.
Oh, the tomatoes in Italy was bad this season. It was raining too much.
Yep. He just got he got destroyed. He deserves all the pizza. Give him the pizza. Shove that Blame's pizza into his face. Right.
I have 3 to JJ Redick, and I'm rounding out the last 3 with the management team. Genie,
interesting,
and Rob Pelinka. Going up one more layer, who hired JJ Redick into this situation, rookie coach. In the beginning, we were like, this is not a good move. Like, even we saw it, like, this guy has no experience, and we're bringing him in. And they fumbled Dan Hurley. They couldn't convince him to come to the Lakers. So that's one part of it.
I don't know if they wanted Dan Hurley, though. I think that was a
genjutsu maybe that was all
play.
the genjutsu.
Yeah.
Second part is that Genie says, like, very openly, there is not enough money that I can pay LeBron James for what his value is to the franchise. And I agree with that business-wise. Business-wise, he's one of the top-selling jerseys, of course. He's going to have people sit in the seats. He's going to have people coming from China, coming and being like, oh, I came 3,000 miles to see LeBron James. All that I agree with. But if we're talking about building a championship team, you don't offer a 40-year-old guy $50 million a year. You just don't do it. No trade clause. You just don't do it, right? Without knowing that you're sacrificing potential championship future. And then third thing, when you have Luka Doncic, you get him February 1st. The trade deadline is approaching, but you have time, right? But then they had the Mark Williams thing, which is, to me, kind of a fumble. They should have known. He's been in and out of the lineup. He's not going to probably pass his physical. And you gave up Dalton Connect and a first rounder to try to get this guy who I get is like the reason why you're trying to get him. I understand, right? Because anyone that's ever played with Luka Doncic, he makes them awesome. The guy in the center, Dwight Powell, shoots like 61%. Daniel Gafford shoots record-setting field goal percentage type of guy. But you couldn't get somebody like that, right? They had to try to get Alex Len. Like, what? What's happening? You know you have to get a pick and roll guy. You know you have to get a 70% field goal because they dunk guy, the DeAndre Jordan type of guy with Luka Doncic. And they failed to pair that. They had Jackson Hayes, so you have to give freaking blame to JJ Redick. Why not play this guy? Because Luka was playing so out of position so many times. Like, he's usually good in the post. He's great in the pick and roll, but you're ISOing him all the time. Maybe that's law of LeBron too, but it's like to me, it's a chasm of things, like just an amalgam of all these people that have come together to create the Laker disaster, which likely is not going to end.
Okay, well, I mean, I disagree. I disagree with pretty much everything you said. Only because I think the goals of this is why I didn't give any pizza to management. I didn't give any pizza to Rob Pelinka. I didn't give any pizza to Genie.
Yeah.
This is why. Okay, 2 reasons. One, they got Luka Doncic.
They did.
Okay. However, whether you want to credit them or not, I don't think you can get blame after that trade for this season. Because if you compare what was expected of the Lakers coming into the season to what was expected of the Lakers going into the playoffs, their world's different.
That's fair.
Right. 2,
That's fair.
Management's job is not to be prepared to win a championship every year. I don't think that. I think the management thinks more long term. Right? Like the management is investors, right? They're thinking long term about their assets. That's how they should think, in my opinion. Coaches and players are like traders, right? They're thinking immediate. They have to always think like, hey, we got to get returns immediately. We want to maximize our returns because we don't know if we're going to have another chance. We don't know what's going on, so that's why I blame JJ. Because coming into the playoffs, regardless of what management did or didn't do, we knew. Everybody knew the weaknesses of the Lakers. Everybody knew the strengths of the Lakers. And JJ didn't put them in position to minimize the exploitation of their weaknesses and to maximize their strengths. He knew that, and he didn't do that. Management-wise, I don't know if I want to go all in this year to like try to win a championship this year, right? You got Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is going to be great for 10 seasons, right? And, I don't want to overreact to what's happened. I still think Luka Doncic is a top 5 player. I still think Luka Doncic is, potentially a top 3 player. Like, to me, a lot of that hasn't changed because he's still great. Like, he's still amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't think like, oh, they're not going to be able to do anything moving forward in the future. I think you got a superstar, right? So there's always things you can do, right? Look at what we thought about the Mavs after they got Kyrie and missed the playoffs. We thought, oh, the Mavs are screwed, right? And then what happens? They go to the finals next year.
They did.
Right? They make small adjustments. They make small trades. They get guys who are, like people are down on, like PJ Washington. They got Daniel Gafford. These were guys that Washington was like trash, throwing them away, right? Charlotte was like throwing them away. Like, hey, just take these guys. We don't even want them. And then they go to Dallas. You pair them up with Luka, and all of a sudden they're like amazing, right? So I think the Lakers, look, next season, they make a couple moves around the edges, they can be right there. Dalton develops a little bit. You find a big, like just an athletic big who can man the middle and catch lobs. You get like a Clint Capella. You get a guy like that. I think you're right back in it, right? Austin develops a move that's not behind the back, just like work with Phil Handy. Why'd they get rid of Phil Handy? Gosh, that was a big mistake. But get the right guys. I think they can be right there. That's why I don't even blame management. I'm just like, I put it all on JJ. This fool, everybody knew everything coming into this series. And this guy is so arrogant that he's like, hey, look at all my cards. Like, hey, look, this is how good I am. This is how good I am. I don't even need to talk to you. I don't even need to treat you with respect because I'm just going to win a championship in my rookie season. And then just bounce. Gentleman sweep. 5 games with home court with the second greatest player of all time and Luka Doncic in his prime coming off a finals appearance. It's just bad. It's freaking bad. It's bad.
Fair enough. Let's move
I get your
forward.
point, though. I don't like, I get your point.
No, you get it, right? Because this is the whole Kevin Feige situation, right? Let's say Kevin Feige, he's the mastermind of the whole MCU, and he's had progress, all that stuff. But and then they seem to be right now, if we're talking MCU versus the Lakers, where they just got Robert Downey Jr. back in Doctor Doom. It's like, okay, you got the personnel, but can you surround it with the right directors, right? Are you going to hire Brett Ratner, or you're going to get the Russo brothers? They got the Russo brothers, right? But you got to have the right elements all around to try to make this work.
Here's what I'll say. If we don't win a championship, in the next, you know what I mean, like 2 seasons.
5. 3?
Okay.
3.
3. I think 3 is more. Yeah, 3 is more. Then I will come way over to yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will, in retrospect, like, I'll re-rate this Blames Pizza and, like, give more to management. But I just think, like, one season where it's, like,
it's halfway through to it.
Yeah, it's too soon to me. Like, you can't start blaming Kevin Feige after one She-Hulk, right? It's like a She-Hulk pops out, you know, it's like Eternals pops out and you're like, I mean, you know, it's fine. You know, we got an Eternals, right? But then it's like Eternals, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, you know, Secret Invasion. Like, when it's at that, then you're like, all right, Kevin, you know, like, some blame needs to come your way because you're steering the ship. If you know, if something goes a little off course one time, I'm not going to start going after management because they're steering the big ship. But yeah, I mean, I'll come way more to your side. If, like, after 2 seasons we get bounced again, like, if next season we get bounced again, then yeah, definitely some is coming management's way.
I think let's say we get bounced again. JJ hasn't adapted. He's the exact same coach. Because I think it's almost a pattern, right? Because we had Darvin Ham right before this. Yeah. Now we have JJ Redick. If he doesn't improve, are they going to get Coach Bud? You know?
Gosh.
Like,
they're not going to get Bud.
And the other thing is, if LeBron clogs up all this out, like, LeBron would be amazing if he was, like, at 20 million, 25 million, but at 50 million really clogs up your ability to improve the roster, like a Clint Capella or something, unless he takes a major pay cut. Like,
I will say this. My confidence in JJ is not shaken. Not yet.
Oh.
Yeah. He was horrible. He was terrible, but he's a rookie at coach.
This
I
is his
trust
Kobe 4 air balls?
Yes. I trust that JJ is smart enough to be better prepared next season, both on the X's and O's and in the press conferences, because I think he did really bad in both. But I just think this guy's smart. He'll figure it out. Okay, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm such a contrarian because, you know, everybody wants to praise JJ, and I'm, like, slow to do it, and then everybody wants to kill JJ now, and I'm, like, slow to do it because I think he still has time. You know, let's take a step back and not overreact to something that's happening. But what I will say is, right now, he's not better than Darvin Ham. Like, I know people want to be like, oh, he's like, Darvin Ham was the worst coach ever, and JJ Redick is, like, the greatest coach. Okay, 3-win improvement, and Darvin Ham went to the Western Conference Finals. So far,
in-season tournament.
And so far, what have we done? We've done nothing. Okay, so why don't all those people take a step back? The people who are killing Darvin Ham, and the people who are praising JJ Redick, and then the people who are now the same people who are now killing JJ Redick. Okay, I know it's flip-flops. You know, that's what everybody wants to do. You want flip-flop based on the latest thing that's happened. Well, let's just wait. Okay, let's wait 1 season and see what JJ Redick does next season. I think we'll see improvements. I think Dalton Connect will be utilized better. I think we'll get a serviceable big, and I think we'll go at least, you know, 1 round deeper in the playoffs, if not 2 rounds. Okay, so if all that happens, then we're good.